For weeks, livestock had been disappearing. Chickens, pigs, and even the sturdy cattle tethered close to the village vanished without a trace. It wasn't until children playing near the river stumbled upon a crushed canoe and the remains of a wild boar that the whispers began. "Anaconda," said the village elder, his voice trembling as he stirred the bubbling cauldron of herbal tea. "The spirit of the great serpent has returned. It punishes us for forgetting the old ways." The elders told stories of Anaconda, a mythical anaconda said to grow so large it could crush entire trees in its coils. Legends described it as a guardian of the jungle, a creature of wrath that haunted those who disrespected the land. One moonless night, the silence was shattered by a blood-curdling scream. Awakened by the sound, the villagers lit torches and ran toward the edge of the forest, where they found the crushed remains of a small hut. Deep gouges in the ground led to the river, vanishing into the dark water. A fisherman, known for disregarding local taboos by hunting in sacred waters, was nowhere to be found. The next morning, the elders confirmed their worst fears. Huge scales were discovered near the water's edge, shimmering in hues of green and black, each as large as a man's palm. The trail of destruction continued into the depths of the jungle, but no one dared follow. Determined to protect their village, a group of men, armed with spears, bows, and machetes, formed a hunting party. Among them was Baego, a young hunter with a reputation for his sharp aim and even sharper wit. Though he dismissed the tales of Anaconda as superstition, he vowed to bring back the beast's head. For 3 days, the hunters followed the faint trail of crushed vegetation and animal carcasses. As they ventured deeper into the jungle, the air grew heavier, and an eerie quiet blanketed the forest. The jungle, usually alive with the chatter of birds and monkeys, seemed to hold its breath. On the 4th night, as they camped near a riverbank, the men heard a low, resonating hiss. It was unlike anything they had ever heard, deep, guttural, and filled with menace. Before they could react, the ground beneath them shifted. The great serpent had been watching. The hunters scrambled as Anaconda erupted from the underbrush, its immense body gleaming in the firelight. The anaconda's eyes glowed with an unnatural intelligence, and its mouth gaped wide, revealing rows of dagger-like teeth. It struck with terrifying speed, coiling around one of the men and crushing him before anyone could move. Panic erupted. Baego, clutching his spear, hurled it at the beast's head, but the weapon bounced off its thick scales. Arrows and blades were useless against its armored body. One by one, the hunters fell, their screams swallowed by the jungle. Baego, now the last survivor, ran blindly into the forest, the sound of the serpent's pursuit close behind. He stumbled upon a sacred grove, its trees marked with symbols of the old gods. Desperate, he fell to his knees and prayed, offering his survival to the spirits of the jungle. The serpent emerged, its massive body blocking the moonlight. Baego, clutching a ceremonial dagger he had found among the offerings, faced the beast. As the serpent lunged, he plunged the blade into its open mouth. The anaconda recoiled, its hissing cry reverberating through the grove. The jungle seemed to come alive. The trees swayed, their roots shifting, and vines lashed out as if possessed. The serpent thrashed, entangled by the forest itself. Baego watched in awe as the jungle reclaimed its guardian, pulling the creature into the earth. Baego stumbled back to Bat Hell, his body bruised and his mind haunted. He recounted the events to the villagers, who listened in stunned silence. The elders declared the jungle's wrath appeased and urged the villagers to honor the ancient traditions. As Baego rested in the heart of Bat Hell, his bruised body ached, and his dreams were tormented by whispers that seemed to come not from the villagers, but from the jungle itself. The elders, gathered in a circle under the starlit sky, deliberated. "The guardian is not gone," one murmured. "The jungle has reclaimed it, but its wrath was not quenched." Over the following days, strange occurrences began to plague Bat Hell. Birds that once filled the air with their songs grew silent. The river's flow became erratic, its once clear waters turning murky as if disturbed by an unseen force. The villagers whispered of a curse, passed down for trespassing into sacred lands. Baego felt the pull of the jungle again, not as a challenge but as a plea. One night, as the moon cast silver light over the village, a soft but unrelenting voice called to him in the wind. It wasn't the growl of the guardian serpent, it was gentler, yet just as commanding. Armed with his ceremonial dagger and the blessings of the elders, he ventured into the grove again. The jungle was alive with motion, but it wasn't hostile. Roots parted as if guiding Baego toward an unmarked path. The glowing symbols of the grove reappeared, lighting his way through the dense foliage. Soon, he stumbled upon ruins, massive stones carved with intricate glyphs that depicted gods long forgotten by Bat Hell. In the center of the ruins stood an altar, overgrown yet pulsating faintly with light. On it rested a relic, an orb encased in the roots of the jungle itself, glowing with a soft green hue. The whispers grew louder as Baego approached, and the orb seemed to react to his presence. The jungle whispers not of destruction, a voice filled the air, one Baego could not place, but of restoration. Baego realized that the jungle, and its guardian, were not enemies of Morokai. They were protectors of an ancient covenant. The destruction wrought by the serpent had been a warning, a cry for the villagers to restore their reverence to the land they called home. As Baego touched the relic, the jungle burst into a kaleidoscope of light and sound. The vines that once lashed out now blossomed, and the serpent reappeared, no longer menacing but majestic. It circled Baego slowly, its glowing eyes no longer hostile but filled with a quiet intelligence. The whispers faded, leaving behind a single message in Baego's mind. Return balance, and the jungle shall protect. Baego returned to the village with the relic, which the elders enshrined at the heart of Bat Hell. The villagers worked to restore harmony, honoring the jungle's will and repairing the sacred groves. Over time, the village thrived again, the whispers now a gentle song of unity. But deep within the jungle, the guardian remained, a silent watcher. The whispers of the jungle were no longer warnings but promises, a bond between the people and the ancient forest they now vowed to protect.